Insert something witty and funny here. Okay, welcome back. This video, I have no idea where it's going to go from here. I just have a whole list of things that I've got to get going on this thing. I'm just trying to chip away at this list, something every day. I'll show you the list. It's quite a list, and I would just consider that like phase one of all the stuff that I could just think of that I could get done right now. So yeah, just jumping into it. We'll see where this video goes. I have no idea. So yeah, let's do it. Alright, so on the dry erase board, I just stood here just staring at the truck and just kind of put together a small list of some of the things that I can think of need to be done immediately. I've already checked off a few things already. I've been, like I said, I've been picking away at this pretty much every day, just for, even if I get out here just for a few minutes, it's something. So anyway, right now, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cleaning up that window channel. I have an appointment in 2 days for the glass guys to come back out to put the windshield in. I decided to have the windshield put in before paint because I just figured it'd be easier to have the windshield in there just to mask it off as opposed to trying to tape up all the window opening before we paint it. So I elected to have the window put in first. So anyway, I'm going to get up here. I'm going to clean up this window channel. Because I want to get all this urethane out. You know, there's little spots like that. Little rust, surface rust. So we'll get all that stuff cleaned up. Get this all primed and sealed up. So then today is, what is today? Today is Thursday. Okay, so next Monday. So I got a few more days than what I thought. They'll be out here to lay the new glass in there. So let's get going on this right now. Alright, I wire wheeled all those bad spots down to bare metal, and I went ahead and put 2 coats of that Cora Seal over top of all the bare metal spots, even like where the razor knife cut down to bare metal and they cut the windshield out. So I think all these spots start real good. When I got to grind, I didn't realize this side was actually pretty bad. No holes, nothing going through, but down in there, along here, rust is pretty heavy. So I'd be surprised if this windshield wasn't leaking already before I took it out. So that was definitely a good call. So letting this second coat dry, and we will be good to go. I'll get some new window clips for the trim, get the trim all painted up, and then like I said, Monday I got the guys coming out, throw this windshield in it, and checking things off that list. And now moving back to the truck, finishing up the steering on it. I got this little skid plate that I had made for the bottom of the core support. Bolts up along the bottom of the winch mount plate. So I took, I had just a regular bar and fin type power steering cooler mounted out in front of the radiator. So I wanted to get rid of that, so there was nothing hanging in front of the radiator. So I got this actual PSC power steering fluid cooler, a lot more capacity, a lot more surface area. So I mounted it to the top side of that skid plate. So this is going to get bolted up just how you see it to the bottom of the core support and the winch plate, and it'll be protected, but yet it'll still get sufficient airflow across it to should work pretty good as a cooler. So I'm gonna get that bolted up in there. I do have to pick up some 90-degree fittings though. It's a little bit tight. They give you some nice fittings, but they're straight. I can't use a straight there, so I'll run down to the local speed shop and grab me some 90s, unless I have something here. Anyway, let's get this on. Okay, and the little skid plate is now all bolted up. Cooler, there it is, protected. I like it. So let's get some fittings and we'll call that done. Okay, back out here Monday morning, and the glass guys have already came and gone. So got the brand new windshield already installed. Check that off the list. Starting on bodywork, I guess. So through the doors, up on these little carts here, dollies, whatever, and cleaning up the bottom edge of these doors, getting all the rust knocked off. Pinch welds, there's some bad spots. It's rust right there. So I'm getting this knocked all down to bare metal. All I'm going to do with these, it's an off-road truck, the doors will probably take damage at some point in time. So I'm not too concerned about making these perfect. I'm gonna treat all these areas with the Core Seal, get them all rust protected, and then basically I'll just put a little bead of body seam sealer all across the bottom of the pinch weld there on the door, and we're gonna call that good. Just get some paint on it. There is one little rust bubble on the back side of the door skin. We'll have to take a little bit of body filler to that. The other door is in a lot better shape. This is the only one that's questionable, so I'm just gonna keep plucking away and grinding on these and getting them looking good. Okay, so the doors, I went, ground out all the rust. So the pinch welds, these are, the shell is actually separated. That's the outside door skin right there. So these are pretty crusty. I mean, I treated inside and outside of the door shell with the Core Seal, a couple coats each. You kind of see the turn black on there. I don't know. I gotta, can I replace these with a better door? Yeah, sure. But then it's going on a rock crawler. So is it worth investing the money into a nice set of new door shells only to take the chance of jacking them up the first time I'm out on the trail? Or just keeping a set of, old factory doors, doctor them up, make us look as best as possible, and when the day comes and I do stuff a boulder into the side of the truck, I won't be so upset. That sounds like the smarter thing to me, especially since I'm painting it such an easy single stage color. Replacing a door down the line with another one won't be a big deal. So ordered some seam sealer, so when the seam sealer shows up, I'll go ahead and just kind of coat all this, cover up all of that coated rust repair there, and we're gonna call it good. So I wouldn't call this a how-to, but we can call this a how I did it. So I don't recommend following my lead, but this is what I'm doing. So these are, I think these are gonna have to do. This door actually is not bad at all. It was hardly anything. The bottom of the pinch weld, or it was some of the original seam sealer, was just kind of peeled back and was a little bit of surface rust. So ground that down, hit it with some Core Seal, and she good. So I'm going to get to cleaning these up, scuffing up the inside. I'll gut these, pull the glass, pull all the trim, all the rubber, all the seals, all the hardware, and then I'll go ahead and I'm going to paint the inside of these, and I'll get them done in the body color. So then all I got to do is just reassemble after I hang, well actually I'll hang the shells on the truck, we'll paint the truck, and then I'll go ahead and reassemble the doors with all the guts. So it's a procedure I've done before in the past. Seems to work pretty good, so that's where we're at with that. Alright, I DA'd, got the cowl, took that all down, mostly to bare metal. There was this baby blue paint, black paint, and then the factory light blue, whatever color that was called. So anyway, got that all knocked down. There's really no body work to be done. Everything's pretty straight on this panel. So then I just hit it with some primer sealer, scuffed up like the A pillars on both sides. They're fine. Scuffed up the B pillars, took it down a couple spots, some bare metal. So I hit it with some of the primer sealer. Had a pretty big gap right here where the roof meets the B pillar, and so I went ahead and I filled that in with some seam sealer. Gonna let that dry, and I'll go back and sand that all down. I also, so the doors, I went ahead and put a nice thick bead using my finger, mashed it all in, that whole bottom pinch weld on the door skin, both doors, bottom of both doors. This, I won't do anything else to it other than just paint over it basically. I mean, I'll sand this this bottom edge straight when I flip the doors over and do the other side. That's basically all I'm going to do. Did it on Gilligan's doors. They held up for quite a long time actually before I started getting anything popping through, so just going to go with it. Ranger doors, not hard to come by if I ever got to change these down the road, so I ain't too worried about it. So anyway, that's done. And kind of same on the roof. DA'd that all down. Found a lot of rust underneath the first 2 coats of paint. So I got those all knocked down to bare metal, cleaned that all up, and hit that with some primer sealer too. So we're going to go ahead and let that set up for a while and move on to, I guess, maybe the fenders. Alright, so working on the front fenders, scuffed them up. I did find some previous body work. Some dents were fixed on it, so I'm not going too deep on it. There's going to be some dents and some dings and some imperfections in these panels, and I really don't care. So I think the color that I chose for it is going to help hide a lot of this subpar body work. Let's call it that. Anyway, on the back side of the fender, cleaned everything up. I core sealed it. Then I went ahead and painted everything on the back side just with some rattle can semi-gloss black, just to give it some protection. So these bare spots and these previous bodywork areas, I'm just going to go ahead and hit with some primer filler or sealer primer, and we'll just let it set, and I'm going to call it good enough. Alright, along with the fenders, I went and took the original stone guard from the Bronco, cleaned that up both sides, sanded it all down, a couple little rust spots, ground down to bare metal, and went ahead and primered it both sides, hanging that up to dry right now. So that's basically we're ready for paint. So check that off the list. So I got this door all gutted, busted down, glass is out, got out the door handle, the lock, all the weather stripping is out, and sanded it down. Had to sand off all that factory stripe that ran across there, and a couple little rust spots, knocked those down to bare metal, coated them in the core seal, just put a quick little shot of primer on there, sealer for now. So now I'm going to flip it over and prep the inside of it for primer and paint, and I'm going to do those myself. This part of the door I'll leave it as is and I'll hang it, then we'll paint it with the truck. So now I'm getting ready to jump on this door. Same thing, dig out all the felt, the weather strip, the dew wipes, get all that crap off there, and do the same to this one. Flip it over, prep the other side, and I guess after that I can hang them on the truck. Okay, I got the doors pretty much ready for the first coat of primer sealer. Just got them kind of gonna hang it from the rafters in the garage here. I'll shoot both sides of this in the primer sealer. This one, I think I am going to kind of get some spot putty, and there was just one little spot here I ground out some rust. That'll definitely show up, so I may just go ahead and touch that up. This fender, passenger side fender. Holy shit. All these marks you're seeing, those are all low spots. I don't know what was used. So the original paint was all gone underneath what was on here pretty much. So somebody stripped the paint off, but they either used a butter knife or a grinding stone, because this is all literally divots in the metal. This is I used 80 grit sandpaper on my DA, and that's the best I could get it. So yeah, this looks terrible. So after conversing with my painter buddy, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put a couple good coats of this direct-to-metal primer sealer on there. Then I'll go ahead and I'll sand that, and then I'll put a guide coat with some high build primer, and then I'll probably end up doing maybe 2 or 3 coats of that, and I'll sand in between and see how it turns out. I mean, for 75 bucks I can buy a whole new fender, then just recut the arch out to match. I don't know if it's worth spending the 75-80 bucks on a fender and just starting with a straight one, or just hitting this with a couple coats of primer and some of my time to see if it'll flatten out at all. So we'll see. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna call it a night. I'm dying out here, it's so damn hot. So I'll think on it overnight, and then tomorrow I'll decide exactly what I'm gonna do. All right, we got some primer down, and boy, yeah, it was a shit show. I tried using my Prevol, the little jar aerosol charge canister, and this primer is way too thick. It would not spray, so I already had it mixed, had it reduced, had the activator in it, so I had to hurry up and grab one of my little cheap Harbor Freight spray guns off the shelf and use that to shoot everything here real quick. It's gonna take a lot of wet sanding, get this smooth here. Cab's done. Inside of the doors is all done, both sides here. So yeah, we'll see how it turned out. Do a little bit of wet sanding, get some 1000, see how it smooths out, and then I guess we'll move on to color. Screw it. It is what it is. Okay, skirt. Stop the presses. Alright, I came up with a better idea. Them fenders were just gonna take too much work, and if I'm gonna go through all the trouble actually putting nice paint on this thing, I'm just afraid they were gonna look like total garbage. So anyway, started with 2 new fenders. So I bought one brand new passenger fender. This was a brand new fender that I actually found in a junkyard. It's got one little, see it right there, it's got one little it's fine, it is what it is, but the rest of it is like, it's perfect, it's brand new. So anyway, trimmed it, cut it out. It actually went a little bit bigger than the hole in the original 2 fenders, so cut out quite a bit more. So definitely got room for the 39s now. Backside of this fender, this is that what is it, like Rust-Oleum chassis paint. It's rust barrier they call it. So I painted all the backside of the panel with that. I got the other fender here, so I got to lay out my cutout piece, transfer it onto this one, hack that one out the same, and they'll be good to go. There's no body work to do to them. Like I said, this one little I don't even know, maybe later, maybe my my paint guy Dennis, maybe he can get that little dent to stay out. I pushed it from the backside and it wants to spring back, so I don't know what the trick is to get that dent to pop out and stay out. But anyway, it's easy to get to, so I ain't too worried about it. So anyway, doors, that door is prepped, it's done, it's sanded. I'm gonna move it out to my second building, and gonna wipe it down with some wax and grease remover, and I'm gonna paint the interior side of it. And then I'm going to well, I'm not gonna paint it till this one's done too. I'll get this one all sanded and prepped, blown out, get it ready to go. So in my my other building out back, I'll have these both set up on the cart, or the stands here, and I'll go ahead, I'll paint all of the interior side of these, and then they'll just stay out there the rest of the day and dry out there. And then I will come in, and you can see I've started sanding down the cab with some 400 grit. I'm going to go ahead and get it all sanded down so it's all ready. I'll blow it off, clean it, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to cut in the door jambs. So those will be done. So once the jambs are dry, the doors are dry, I can hang the doors on the cab, close them up, and then that's how we will spray the whole thing. So that is the new current plan as of today. So stay tuned. Who knows? That might change again. This is a very fluid situation here. All right. Well, got a little carried away. Yep, we got the door jambs done, and I had enough paint mixed up. Figured, well, might as well do the rockers. So the rockers are done. And I figured, well, turning out so good, I might as well do the B pillars. I did the B pillar, and might as well shoot the A pillar while we're at it. And why not? Let's go ahead and shoot the cowl. So the cowl's done, and figured out what the hell. Let's go ahead and shoot the back of the cab. So the back of the cab's done. And back in the other building, I shot the inside of the doors, and I did the stone guard. And there's the stone guard. So basically that just leaves the hood, the fenders, and the doors. Well, and the roof. I was going to spray the roof, but when I got up there was like 2 little spots I missed with the sanding block where it was still rough. So obviously I already had wet paint on other parts of the truck, so I couldn't just hurry up and sand those. So I'll get the roof later when the rest of the truck's done. So threw the fenders on to see how the trim job turned out. It looks pretty good to me. Looks like we're going to have plenty of room for tire clearance. And the fenders are basically ready to paint. I just don't know if I'm feeling brave enough to shoot the doors and the fenders and the hood myself. Smaller pieces, no big deal. Turned out okay, but these bigger, flatter panels might benefit from a real painter painting them. This little pre-ball jar is only good for so much. I don't think I could do a very good job with a large panel like this. So maybe getting a hold of my painter and see if my buddy Dennis can finish this up and make it look good for me. But so far what I've done, I like it a lot. I think it turned out pretty good for a rock crawler. I'm not gonna complain. So I'm gonna go ahead, pull the front end, pull all that sheet metal back off, and I'm gonna go get the doors, and I'm gonna hang the doors on, get them kind of roughly lined up, and then we'll shoot those right on the truck, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. So the doors are on. Got them aligned pretty damn good. This one here, maybe the back could come up just a hair for that character line there. Other side's good. And make some minor adjustments to get them right. But I think that's gonna work. So now we'll just have to mask off the window opening, and we'll just paint it from the outside. We don't even need to open it. Then I can go ahead and start putting it all together on the inside. Get the glass in it and all the new weather strip and door handles and all that stuff. Thinking more than I'm thinking about it here, I think maybe the fenders and the hood will paint off the truck, and then I'll assemble them after they're done. I think that's going to be the smart move, I believe. And yeah, so yeah, pretty happy with this. I think at this point I'm gonna call this a day. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna call it a wrap on this video. I know it's not complete, but I think there's enough there that looks cool enough to put it in its own video. So I'm happy. We're moving right along, man. I did kind of verbally commit to a trip with Discover 4x4 Adventures down to Kentucky the second week of November for what they're calling the Big Rig Roundup. This is going to be for trucks on 37s, minimum, lockers, and a winch, I believe is what the requirements were. So that might be the shakedown for this truck here. So that's what I'm shooting for. I'm not going to rush it. If it's not done, if it's looking like I'm not going to get it done in time, I'm not going to cut no corners. I'm not going to rush it. But I think I can make it. I think I can get this done. So anyway, that's it. That's a wrap for this one. Thanks for watching. Keep the comments coming. Give it a like. Give it a share if you want. And we'll see you soon. Much more to come.